Hey guys, and welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Kat Jovi, and today we're going to be looking at tech. It's a more and more popular topic in the world, and in comic books too. What's most exciting though is that the real world is slowly kind of starting to catch up to the comic book world, and now some of those inventions might actually be becoming a reality, which is pretty cool. Today we're going to look at some of the inspirational inventors from the superhero universe with 10 superheroes who built their own tech. At number 10 we have the Blue Beetle, aka Ted Kord. Now, the original Blue Beetle was Dan Garrett, but Kord, a friend and student of his, took over the name and legacy of Garrett when he was killed in a cave-in. Kord was an inventor and made lots of different gadgets to aid his missions. His main staples, though, were his self-made utility belt and a flying craft named the Bug. I mean, no wonder he never went big. The Bug is just not that creative, you know? The ship though did have a crime lab in it and a ton of firepower, so really impressive. At number 9 we have the Green Arrow, aka Oliver Queen. He's one of the wealthiest characters in comic books, with more money than one could spend in 12 lifetimes, it said. Challenge accepted, let me see what I can do. However, he was stranded on a desert island and forced to hunt for food. He ended up making a bow and arrow and honed his skills to survive. It also inspired him to design other arrows with different purposes. Once he got back to the real world and all of his piles of money, he put his new skills to work with fighting crime. Also, now that he was back in civilization, he was able to level up his design with technology. He used the money and the tech to make a top secret base, a suit, and a quiver loaded with specially designed arrows. At number 8 we have Mr. Terrific, aka Michael Holt. In 1997, the mantle of Mr. Terrific was passed on to Michael Holt. Thankfully, he was just as talented as the first, with multiple black belts, many degrees and doctorates in a plethora of fields, and said to be the 3rd smartest man in the world. Hey, he's number 8. That's why he's number 8. Third. He is the talented inventor of T-Sphere. This is a small AI device that he controls with his mask and earpiece. They can cloak him constantly, they can fly, create holographic images, shoot off electrical charges, hack satellites and computers, and can even be used as projectiles, so very multifunctional. At number 7 we have Steel, aka Dr. Henry Irons. After Superman saved his life, he asked him how he could repay him, and Superman told him, "Live a life worth saving." Love that. This changed him forever. Shortly after this, Superman has a showdown with Doomsday and dies. So Dr. Irons, who's currently a weapons expert, decides he needs to look after the people of Metropolis now. However, he's just a man. He doesn't have superpowers like Superman had, so he has to use his genius mind to build a mechanical suit to replicate Superman's powers. It has jet boots to make him fly, it boosts his strength, and his own little touch, he has a super sledgehammer that has both lethal and non-lethal ammo as firepower. In honor of Superman, he also adds an S to his chest and calls himself Man of Steel. He becomes known as Steel once Superman is resurrected and nicknames him such. At number 6 we have Oracle, aka Batgirl, aka Barbara Gordon. So this is sort of after she gets, Batman is of course a great detective, and he has these superior fighting skills, but he doesn't really make his own tech. Others build it for him. So later on, Batgirl, she sort of takes over that little bit. She is one of the most impressive techies in Gotham. Once she becomes Oracle, she is able to give Batman a view of Gotham like he's never really had before. She's able to hack into any database on Earth, she invents a secret communication tool for the Batgang, and she's able to track down really anything that Batman's looking for, any bad guys at all. She's like the all-seeing eye that they've always needed. At number 5 we have the Atom, or Ray Palmer. I know what you're thinking, what about Hank? Well, Ray was first, so this time we're gonna talk about him, okay? The Atom is a tech and physics genius that became a superhero with the Justice League thanks to his invention of the shrinking lens. He uses pieces of white star matter and is able to shrink himself down to subatomic size while still having his full strength. This is something obviously you see in the Ant-Man movies, but he was the OG. At number 4 we have Forge. He's a Native American that was originally trained as a medicine man, but favors technology. This ends up making him leave his elders and enlist in the military. He has a natural ability to recognize the potential use of any piece of technology. He can create, assemble, disassemble, or create countermeasures to really anything. His mind is brilliant. On account of this, he is one of the few mutants who doesn't feel as sort of left out or ostracized. He doesn't have, blue skin or any other disfigurations to set him apart from other humans. His mind is just exceptionally smart. I mean, other than the fact that he does lose an arm and a leg, but anyone in Vietnam could have that happen to him. However, because he's great with technology, he's able to build himself bionic ones instead. He's worked on government contracts, but of course is most memorable with the X-Men for working with X-Factor and X-Force 2. At 3, we have Spider-Man. He of course has his Spidey sense, the ability to stick to walls, his super strength, but he also is a genius. It's said that he has an IQ north of 250. He's been putting that intellect to good use over the years. From early on making his own suit and mechanical web shooters, as well as a utility belt and spider trackers, to later on making different web fluid versions like acid, foam, ice, cement, as well as ones that are magnetic or electrified. Depending what baddies he's dealing with, he comes up with new fancy ones to aid him. Another example of him adding technology with a bad guy is when he's up against Equinox, web slinging is not enough, so he makes something kind of Green Goblin-esque, a spider glider that is jet powered. Also, while he's working at Horizon Labs, he's made a lot of amazing things like a special suit to counteract Hobgoblin's scream attacks, as well as cryo cubes that can quickly freeze a target without damaging them. And those are just a few. There are tons of other ones as well. Spider-Man is about making stuff. In number 2, we have Iron Man, aka Tony Stark. Really a man that needs no introduction. His father was a genius inventor, and so is he. He owns Stark Industry and creates cutting-edge technology, then is captured by terrorists and forced to come up with a way to escape. He creates a device that is an almost endless supply of energy, and his first exosuit loaded with as much tech as he can figure out with what he has around. He's basically in a cave. It's not pretty, but it's perfectly functional in order for him to escape. Once he gets back to his money and Stark Industry, he's able to build a much sleeker version with way more bells and whistles. It gives him super strength, allows him to fly like a jet fighter, he can go stealth, he has tons of sensors in it, as well as fatal and non-fatal weaponry. It also has a computer AI in it to assist him while he's in it. I never get sick of seeing what else it can do. Every new version is just so cool and exciting. I actually rewatched Iron Man after writing this. At number 1, we have one that really no one can argue with. It's Mr. Fantastic, aka Reed Richards. Not only does he have the ability to morph and stretch his body, but he also has that big, beautiful scientific brain that has come up with ingenious inventions to beat bad guys and save the world again and again and again. He's always the one the government's calling on to help them with things. He designed and invented the team's Fantasticar, and it's kind of like a Power Rangers Megazord where it can split into separate vehicles or combine together into one ship. He also created the unstable molecules that allow the team's suits to be able to work with their special powers. Thus, the Human Torch's suit doesn't light on fire when he is, flaming on, and the Thing's suit doesn't split when he's being all strong and stuff. He's also made a stimulator, which is a device that can restore lost powers or give them to someone who doesn't have them, as well as a coma cannon, an antimatter injection system, an afterlife transporter, a cosmic ray, an atomic space displacer. The list goes on and on and on and on. Some good, some bad, all very impressive. So there you have it, the top 10 superheroes who built their own tech. Which ones are your favorite? What is your favorite invention, or what's like an invention you think that they should really try to make and include within it? Comment down below, let us know. I'm Kat Jovie, this is Top 10 Nerd. Thanks so much for tuning in.